Hi, everybody. Dawn Phoenix here, Intuition Ignition Catalyst. I am so happy if you're joining live, and if you're not, that's cool too. You can catch this replay. So what I'm doing here is just sort of, I'm going to give you a little bit. Okay, I'm hearing an echo on myself. I know why. I'm playing my own video. Okay, there we go. All right, so I'm just going to give you a little overview, and I have it set to slow mode, and that way I can try to keep up. So, okay, so a little bit about me. I am an intuition ignition catalyst, and what the hell is that? That's someone who helps connect you into your own intuition. That is your own inner knowing, your inner guidance system. And it's our most powerful tool in life to do anything, to make all of our decisions. So that is the big thing that I love to help people with. I work with people in a lot of different ways. So I am a certified animal communicator. I do energy medicine work. I have some books that I've written. They're behind me. All the links are down below for you to catch this stuff. I create music. I make candles. That way, whatever. The candles, that way. I do all kinds of stuff. I have an online community. So if you want to come play, we're amazing and awesome and fun. There's that info there too. Today, what I'm tapping into is my channeling skills, and it's kind of an offshoot of animal communication. So when we communicate with animals, it's just connecting with another conscious being, and we can do this. Everybody on the entire planet is born able to do this, to communicate telepathically, and we just forget. So we remember when it's time, and if it's something that we're meant to do in this life. So I became an animal communicator, and after that happened, I just started being able to channel other beings, and I follow other people who are channels, like Daniel Scranton and things like that, hone my skills, through their work as well. And so what I like to do is just tap into who's in our skies, because when I look out my window and I see clouds shaped like, light ships, things like that, one of the things that we are taught when we're channeling, anybody we're channeling, when we connect, is just to ask, who are you? And even just to feel into the energy of who you're connecting with. This is true in animal communication and everything. And that will tell you what you need to know, whether or not there's someone you want to connect with, whether it's the being you intended to connect with, or if it's someone else. So I have really been interested in tuning into these beings I've been seeing outside my window. And I got interested in all this, UFO and ET stuff years ago, and I just sort of like stumbled upon it, I guess. And it was during COVID, the lockdown. It was in 2020, and I was living in Savannah, Georgia. And I had this dream where I didn't see a ship land or anything like that, but I was walking around with someone who was very, very, very tall, probably 7 feet tall. I mean, I'm short, I'm 5'1", but this being was maybe like 7 feet tall. And they were humanoid, but not a human. Very pale skin, bald, very bright blue eyes, and I don't know who they were, but I'm guessing they could have been Arcturian. And in this dream, I was walking around next to this person and introducing, he was a masculine, introducing him to people. And I literally was saying, hi, this is Bob. Bob, this is everybody. And I was literally acting as, like that ambassador. And that was really cool. So that was kind of it, for dreams like that for a while. And then a couple weeks ago in November, I saw these clouds that I just looked out my window and I went, that's interesting. And it looked like 5 or 6 light ships. I have the pictures up on my Facebook page. And I don't know if I can share here, but I'll just tell you they were kind of reminded me of the ship from Flight of the Navigator. I know I'm aging myself, but they kind of look like, the ships from there with a little longer tails. And I was like, okay. So I just tuned in. I tuned into them and I asked. First of all, I felt, like, is this somebody I want to even connect with? And I just got this overwhelming just sense of peace and calm. And it almost felt just kind of like familiar in a strange kind of way. Like, I don't know you, but you're familiar to me. So let's talk. And I just said, who are you? And what they said to me was, we are your progeny and what was it? We are your progeny. We are your past and your future as you are ours. Okay. That resonated. That absolutely resonated with the things that I have been taught and heard that were truth, for me about our origins, our origins as star seeds of the galaxy, and that we're kind of related to many, many, many races out there. So I was like, I dig that. Thank you. And I think what also came through was that they didn't want to share specifics for a number of reasons. There probably were, it would be hard for us to fathom, like if they gave a name, it might be hard to fathom. Also, there may be too many, different species, races, whatever you want to call it, there for them to list. And they may be hybrids of so many different races, it would be hard for them to tell. There are so many different reasons why they wouldn't say that. But another thing I've heard also that our family of light will do for us is just try to make contact as easily digestible as possible for us and to let us exercise our free will. So just because someone says, I'm an Arcturian, I'm a Pleiadian, it doesn't necessarily make it so. Again, you have to practice that discernment. And so I just was like, okay, that's good enough for me because I got, that more will be coming later. So I was like, okay, all right. And they said, you will be seeing more of us in the coming days and weeks. And they just said, this is just the beginning. And I was like, oh boy, I was just giddy. I was so excited. It was like a little kid waiting to open, her birthday present. And then they said, and this was getting towards sunset. And then they said, look back here at sunset. We'll have a gift for you. And I was like, okay, like I need a gift. This is a gift. So I kind of just hung around, honestly, and just stared because why would I look away? And then when the sun started to set, this cloud that I hadn't noticed before just sort of phased into view, and it was a beautiful feather, like laying on its side, and it was clear. You could tell clearly there's that part in between, like that hollow bone part or that tube, where the feather might be if it fell off a bird. And then it had the pieces coming up and down off of it. And it was just beautiful with the pinks and the purples from the sunset. And it was just such a beautiful gift. So if you want to look up symbolism, for feathers or whatever, go for it. But I just thought that was really beautiful. 2 nights later, I had another dream with a galactic family of light member, actually a number of them. So this was where I was, I live in Ohio. And if anybody out there is in Ohio, I've been seeing in other YouTube channels, people saying that in Ohio, they've been seeing lights in the sky. So, okay, cool. I've been seeing clouds, so not the lights yet. So this dream I had 2 days later. So we're coming into the end of November now. And in this dream, I was with my son, who's 17 years old, and we were in the parking lot of a small plaza. think like maybe a TJ Maxx or something like that. And I had just gotten out of the car with him and we were walking toward the store. And there was a group of people, maybe about 10 people, just kind of standing there in front of the building and not going in. And they were just looking up. And I went, and I look up and I see this cool ship. And it was narrow. And it had these wings that could have been out like this, but they were folded up. And it was just drifting down. And there was no fire from rockets, no sound, no propulsion, that we see, no blowing around of dirt, nothing. It just sort of drifted and then landed without disturbing anything and making any noise. It was really cool. And so we have this craft, and it looks like something you might see from Star Wars, maybe a Y-wing fighter. And it was dark metal, and it landed in front of the group of people. And I remember I was like, come on, come on, come on. And I said to my son, come on, come on. And he was behind me, and I was reaching my hand back for him. And I was like gently, trying to like wiggle my way up through to the front of the group. And I got there. And I don't know if my son ever did, because my experience just became like what was in front of me. So the door opens like from the top down, like you'd have a ramp. And inside, it was small and not really like tons of lights. It was just like sort of like normal daylight and maybe a little bit less bright than that. And I didn't see really any lights on the ceilings or anything. And there were, I would say, maybe 4 or 5. And there were, I would say, maybe 4 or 5 people. I shit you not, they were people in there. I mean, they looked just like us. And I just remember like feeling so excited. I mean, I was like, dude, I'm going to pee my pants. I was so jazzed that these people were here, but I didn't move. I didn't do anything. And I was just like, oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. And they just said, they didn't actually even say much. They just said, we are here. We are here to help you. And again, it was very similar to what was said before, but this was more of a feeling. They didn't really talk, like their mouths didn't really move. It was more of like an understanding, an emotion coming in. And it was just like, you know what, everything's okay. We just would like to introduce ourselves. Here we are. We are your family of light. And they just kind of just hung out there and just stood there. And everybody was just mesmerized. Nobody behind me said anything. And all of a sudden, this very strange sound just went off the building on the side of me. And it was one of where like you would have a hose hookup for the fire department, like one of those big giant ones. And it just started like hissing out steam, or when steam, it was just making a hissing noise. And the commander of the ship said to one of his lieutenants, he said, could you go take care of that? And so the guy walks down the ramp off to my right, and he had this little doodad in his hands. Again, looks like something you might see on Star Trek. And he just sort of like pushed a button and like waved it at the hose hookup, and it stopped. And then he just got right back up on the ship. And I was like, huh. And then I woke up. So that's the progression of dreams that I have had starting since 2020. Progression, it's all of 2, but it was very like, okay, we're just going to see what she does when we show her somebody, and in a dream, then we'll reveal ourselves in clouds, and then we'll come back to her in a dream and actually have a basic safe interaction and just see how she does. And that's kind of what like I got. So those are my experiences. And what I believe is happening, because I have been watching lots of YouTube videos that the universe is sending to me and practicing my discernment about what is true and what is not, because there are a lot of people out there taking the information that is truth and sort of kind of tweaking it and twisting it so it's not coming out as the full truth. but they just want the attention. And it's, they have graphics in the background, and it's a very similar narrative to what's being said. Because these are animated videos, and it has the text on the bottom as the narrator is talking. And so it's very, you have to practice your discernment. So I have a few channels that I listen to and watch. And GFL Station, Galactic, or GLF, Galactic Light Federation, no, GFL Station, Galactic Federation of Light Station. They are like my number one go-to. And they channel the Arcturians, the Lyrians. They have people who channel, and then they put up the videos, and they put up maybe one or two a day. And so I've really been tuning into what they've been talking about. And there's a few other channels too. And basically what the big news is that we are on the precipice within days, not weeks, not months, not years, days of something big that's going to happen. And it's going to change our world forever. And when I say that, I don't mean it's just going to be like, oh, it was really cold out today. I'm talking like one of the stories that has been circulating as a prophesized story is that the Earth was set on a counterclockwise rotation on purpose to keep human beings from evolving into who we're meant to be. That's pretty much the short version of it. And the time has come that is fixed. And so there are 2 ships that have been on their way to the planet since 2009. And when they arrive, what they're going to do is stop the Earth's rotation, and very gently. This is going to be done over 3 days, and this is where the whole concept of 3 days of darkness is coming from, at least from this point of view, from this story that I've heard. And to me, this resonates with other things that I've heard. So that's why I'm choosing to pass this particular one along. They're going to come, and they are going to station themselves at the 2 poles of the Earth. And very gently, like I said, this is going to be done over 3 days, stop the Earth's rotation and then start it back up clockwise. And this is important because everything else in the universe rotates on a clockwise basis. We're like the odd kids out. So we need to be in a proper rotation so that we can continue in our evolution, and the Earth can continue in her evolution. So it's preventing us with this spin being counterclockwise energetically and physically. So that's what's going to happen. And then the 3 days of darkness comes from, during that time, one of the ships is going to be moving into an orbit around the sun. And so in part of that orbit, they're going to be blocking the sun and the Earth. And these are huge, huge ships. I mean, they have to be, because if they're going to be doing that work with a planet's, magnetic poles, they have to be big. So that is where the 3 days of darkness, apparently, in that story come from. And anything that is electromagnetic, electronic, is going to cease to function during that time. And we will be in our homes, and we'll be safe. We'll be taken care of. We will be watched over. And we'll just sort of, what they're saying is, we're just sort of going to fall into this kind of like a meditative state where we'll be physically not moving, but we'll be mentally aware of what's going on in our surroundings, which it might seem scary. So they're like, humans, don't panic, and it's, if you think about meditation, that's kind of what meditation is. You're sitting very still and you don't have a desire to move, and you're aware of what's going on around you, but you're just very tuned into your inner world. So that's kind of what's going to happen, is we're just going to enter into this kind of hibernation meditative state, is what they say, which for me is cool. So they say, okay, make sure your homes are nice and comfy and cozy, and that you're comfortable in your surroundings, and that we'll get fair warning when this is going to happen. So I just feel like this is part of what is precipitating that event, should that be the thing that happens. There are so many different timelines, and we jump timelines 7 times a second, or we have the choice to jump timelines 7 times a second. That's a lot. That causes a lot of variation, So it may not be exactly how the story that is being, that story plays out, but that is one of the things that I have heard. And another piece of information that I wanted to pass along about, this, whatever this event is going to be, is back in November, Matt Kahn and his wife, Joy Kahn. You can look them up, Matt and Joy Kahn. They have a YouTube channel. Matt has been my spiritual teacher since I had my spiritual awakening in 2014. And I resonate with his transmissions wholeheartedly, literally, like they enter my heart and they pass through the gate of truth. So I've never heard him really issue a prediction before. So I was watching their YouTube video. I posted it on my Facebook page, and I'll try to put these links in later, guys, into this at the bottom of the, in the whatever area. This is the first time I've done this, so whatever. What they said was around the 3rd or the 13th of December, keep your eyes on the skies. There's going to be and the specific wording they used was celestial intervention of such a magnitude that it cannot be ignored and it cannot be covered up. And it will reveal to us our galactic origins. And I've heard that it will involve holograms, and we will be shown, our history, our true history, not what we've been taught, because that's not true. So that will be one of the things that we receive as a gift. And when, our friends arrive. So what Matt and Joy were saying was that on the 3rd or the 13th, keep your eyes on the skies. And they just said, this is going to disrupt what is being hidden, and it will never go back to the way it was after this. So I was like, wow, that's kind of exciting. So, December 3rd has come and gone, and that's fine. And as a channel, I understand that when you channel information, time is not the way that we experience it. It's not linear. So it's very hard to pin down particular dates. I'm surprised they even gave dates, honestly, because Matt never has. So I thought that was very interesting that they were very specific in their dates. Also, something interesting to note is the activity of our sun flares. So if you are interested, you could search out, solar activity, and there are lots of articles coming out about our growing activity on the sun's surface. And also you can check out the Schumann resonance that basically measures the electromagnetic forces on the earth, like when there are lightning storms, things like that. There's just disturbances in the atmosphere. It's beautiful. It moves from grays or greens and blues to this bright white oscillation. It's just beautiful. So you can look for that too. So there's all of these pieces of scientific information that are lining up, because I look at it every day, and we have been having like white show up in that pretty much for the past 3-4 days now. And it comes and goes, and there are all different things that can cause it. Like I said, thunderstorms, things like that. But it's just another interesting way to measure scientifically and physically things that are going on around us, since we like to see things, with our eyes. So what I heard years ago is when that Schumann graph turns from the oranges and the greens and blues to all white, we have entered into the 5th dimension. And so it's exciting when that white shows up and it doesn't go away. And there's not just a little boop, little blip. And that's been happening a lot lately, where it's just showing up. So you can go there and just refresh it every hour, and it works on a 24-hour basis. So you can just refresh it. It's really neat. So that's something else that with all of these celestial things happening in the sky, with the increase in our sun's activity, the Schumann resonance, going into that very active state of electromagnetic activity in the atmosphere. And now we have all of these drone sightings that the government, it's been days, weeks, and they haven't done squat, not a thing. And people are demanding, we don't feel safe. Who is this? What are they doing here? And what are you doing about it? And the government is basically going, which is bullshit, because they know exactly what's going on. They just don't want to tell us. And so I think that, this is my personal opinion here, I think that given all of these other pieces of information leading up to this point now, these lights that we're seeing in the sky, and it's not just New Jersey, it's London, it's over in Europe, it is, I have a friend in Longmont, Colorado area. She said last night there were lights in the sky. I have a friend in Florida. She said she saw a shooting star bigger and brighter than anything she's ever seen before. And this is the Geminids. Meteor shower is happening right now. So hello, perfect, camouflage. I mean, we are being primed, and already full disclosure is being demanded, and not by some crazy ass Joe Schmo, that they used to say, oh, I don't listen to them. No, these are people. These are Congress people. There's hearings. I mean, justice is being demanded and truth is being demanded, not only by the American people as citizens, but as people who are in places of power, saying to the government, you cannot do this, and you will not. And it's just starting. This is just the start. So it's my personal opinion that these lights that we're seeing are either, our family of light personally, or, craft that they're sending to help wake us up and shake us into demanding that full disclosure, so that when the big event happens, the government has already been pantsed. They're sitting there with their pants on the ground, holding their beer, going, uh-oh. So that's kind of just my 2 cents on all that stuff. I'm not an expert in anything other than my intuition. So I would love to hear if anybody has any questions, anything you want to throw in the chat. Go ahead, and I will stop my yammering for a minute to hear. And if not, that's cool too. Like, you guys can just, hang out. That's fine. I'm going to take a drink of water while I wait a minute. All right. And if nobody has anything to put in the chat, what I will invite you guys to do is, if you're watching this on the replay, and it's, you have a question that comes up, a comment, whatever, just go ahead and share it. And I will absolutely, respond. Anybody who's reading, of course, they will too. So it doesn't have to be like a here and now thing. I just wanted to come on and, share my thoughts, my experiences, and see if you guys needed anything. I just want to be here to serve. I really, really feel the call as an ambassador, to our family of light, to open, lines of communication up and say, hey, if you guys want me to, contact anybody, let me know. I can channel them for you. I can answer questions, or not me, but we can ask them questions, because this is how you get truth. You don't have the government tell you. You use your discernment and your intuition. So even if you ask me something, and even if you do this later in the comments, I'm happy to do this. You ask something, you ask, hey, can you ask them this? Can you ask them that? Even what you get back as a response, always use your discernment. And if there's anybody who tells you that they are the authority and that they know best, run fast and run far, because anybody who is not telling you to use your discernment is not someone that you need to be interacting with. They don't have your highest and best good in mind. So always always use your discernment, no matter who is telling you what. And I just want you to understand that, because as we move forward, definitely what has been coming in is that there will be some shade thrown on the truth to try to give half truths and try to have us be placated with that. So we have to use our discernment and say, no, that's not good enough. I don't think so. Please try again. So just to use your discernment always with all of the information that's going to be coming in, especially tune into that gut feeling that you get, literally your gut, your sacral chakra. Tune into your heart. And these are the places that are going to give you literally body signals, letting you know whether something is true for you or not. And I'm trying to be very specific here and say true for you, because what's true for you may not be true for someone else, or might not be true for someone else. So you need to discern what's true for you. And this is how we take back our sovereignty. And this is how we move into that fifth dimensional experience, because it's not a place, it's an experience of how we're going to experience the world. This is how we move there, by reclaiming our sovereignty and understanding that we have the power to create what it is that we desire in our world. And included in that ability to create is the concept of truth. We don't have to swallow anything that's not truth. We don't have to swallow anything, but you know what I mean? So, all right. I am being called to pull a card, and I don't see anything in the chat yet. So that's fine. What I'll do is, if nobody pops up any questions or anything, I'll just pull a card and then wrap it up so this doesn't get too long. This is from my Celestial Whispers Oracle card deck. It's ours, my friend Regyna Curtis and I, who is an amazing, amazing soul wisdom mentor and artist. We created this deck together, and the beings I channel, some of them, there are the dolphins and the star horses, and they wanted their own deck. So we made that happen. Regyna's art is on the back here. It's amazing. It's beautiful. And the star horses and the dolphins, they want me to actually draw 2 cards. So I am just going to ask and say thank you to the dolphins. Thank you to the star horses. And if you want to know the origin story of the star horses, they have their book that I channeled for them, and that's in the links below. So it's called the Star Horses of Kerala, because they're here on the planet in the physical, in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, USA. So they want me to pick, okay, here's one. They want me to pick 2 cards. So I've got one here, and I will show them to you in a moment. So that'll be the first one. And we'll pick a second one. And so this is just going to give us, you know, some clarity, maybe some support, you know, on what's going on around here. Nope, that one doesn't want to come out. Okay. Ah, here we go. All right. Okay, so the cards that we have are perspective, and I'll show this to you after I read it. What do you need to see from a higher perspective? Okay, this is so, I mean, you cannot make this shit up, guys. So it's a dude sitting out on this mountaintop overlooking this beautiful river. And it's a star horse card, so there are stars all around it, and there's his star horse guide. We each have a star horse guide. There's a star horse guide behind him. They're always with us, and so the dolphins and the star horses are in each of these cards. There's also an eagle up above, and I was guided to put the eagle in because the eagle has amazing eyesight. I mean, they can spot a mouse from up that high, and that's how they eat. That's how they live. They are the masters of the higher perspective. So what I'm getting here from them is the star horses are asking us to take a look out at this vast landscape in front of us. And it's very interesting that there are mountains and the water. So it's the mountains, the earth things, the things that are the solid, the real. Then the water, which is, you know, fluid, it's malleable, it is movable, and also water represents emotion. So to look out on the landscape of the physical and the emotional, the mental, and what can you see that you're being presented with from a higher perspective? Use those eyes of the eagle to give you truth. So this is beautiful. Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. The second card that I pulled is called Intention, which absolutely makes sense. And I will definitely, this is great. Set intentions more often. Eventually, everything that happens will be intentional. Okay, what I'm getting here, guys, and this card, I love the picture. I'll let the camera kind of like hopefully unfuzz it. When I created this, I originally, I did it with the intention, of the horse jumping over the training area. Hi, Karen. I will read your comment in 1 second. The horse is jumping over, this practice area up here. And it's dreaming. He's dreaming of being in a show and having a rider on him. And as he does this practice work, he is setting that intention to reach his dream. And it is attached to him because we have this beautiful magic here. It's this cord of light that's attaching him to his intention, his creation. And so what they're saying is this is the card of the 5D. Like, I'm really getting this right now. And I didn't get this when I created these. So this is really awesome that they're giving more here. What they're saying is this is the card of the 5th dimension. And what we need to do now is to clear out that which no longer serves us. And I don't know about you guys, but I have been having a crap ton of stuff and people falling away from me in the past 2 weeks. In one day, it was 3 people. It was amazing. And I never woke up saying, oh, I'm going to tell these people to F off. It just happened. We're shedding that which no longer serves, because when we step into the 5th dimension, everything that we think, our intentions, become our reality immediately. So when we bring stuff in that doesn't serve us and that's of a lower vibration, that will manifest immediately. So they are reminding us to be very mindful, because very soon our intentions, our thoughts are going to be our reality with no pause in between. So I love that. I love that. So, and I love that perspective came out first. Okay. So in order to, trying to get these at a good spot so you can see them both. Okay. In order to be able to set clear intentions, you have to see things from a higher perspective and use that discerning eye of the eagle, and know that you are not alone, because like the man in this picture, you have your guides with you. You have your star horses, you have your guides in spirit and your ascended masters. So, wow, that's beautiful. Thank you, star horses. Yay. All right, awesome. Okay, so Karen says, and Karen is wonderful. She's just amazing, amazing human being. We're friends, and I adore her. She says, hi, Dawn. So we are in England and flying home December 16th. How does your info bode for air travel? Okay, that's a very good question. So what I heard was, for whenever the date is, and the 3 days of darkness they said, one of the things that I heard was that everything will shut down, and they said planes will crash and cars will crash. And that was it, period. So it's kind of like, okay, what the heck are we supposed to do with that information? I got angry because I was like, okay, so we're just going to have planes be falling out of the sky? That's not cool. Like, that is very not cool, guys. Like, I don't really feel like that's how it's going to be. So then what kind of came in for me after that was, no. It's just going to be that these things are going to slowly shut down. And so if they're landing or whatever, it's not going to be like, bam, a crash. It's going to be, oh, this plane is now leaving the sky and it has to make like an emergency landing or something like that. Or what also came in was, we will get enough warning that we won't be doing those things. We will be staying where we are. So it will kind of be like, again, following that intuitive, maybe we should change the date of travel. I'm not really feeling it today. Or someone comes down sick, something like that, where you kind of just stay parked. So I'm not saying I can predict air travel at all, but you'll have enough advance notice is definitely what they're telling us. You will have enough warning so that you will be home with your families. Your animals will be safe. That's another thing that I'll talk about in a second, is the animals. So that this is an example of creating the reality that you desire, because this is what we're doing right now. And it's not necessarily happening immediately, although for some of us it is. So you just set that intention for the greatest and highest outcome to occur for your travel plans. And you can set that intention right now, and then just pay attention to what's going on in the world. Because honestly, if we're in the middle of the 3 days of darkness and it does start on the 13th, you won't be traveling on the 16th anyway. So unless it starts like the very moment you're in the sky, on the 16th, things should be fine. So my guess is either it'll be happening before that and we'll be in the middle of it, or at the tail end of it. And also what they said was at the end of the 3 days of darkness, this is so important for me to convey, and I'm sorry I forgot, that they said everything's going to go back to normal. Everything will turn back on. Everything will be fine. We'll be healthy. We'll be safe. Everybody will be fine. It'll all be fine. And we're going to actually have these really amazing experiences within ourselves, which is why we need to get rid of the stuff that doesn't serve, because that's what we're going to be stuck with for 3 days. So what I would say to you, Karen, is to just use your discernment, pay attention to what is being put in front of you. If you see, this is how I've been rolling like the past couple days or the past week. I look at everything that's put in front of me, even if I'm like, I don't get that. Like, why is this, news clip? Why is this YouTube video, this song, billboard, piece of mail, whatever? Pay attention to everything in your environment, because as you know, the universe is always communicating with us. So that would definitely be what I say to you, is especially now, stay invested, in the universe's messages to you. And also what's coming in for me also, Karen, is to ask the universe what you need to do. Ask the universe if there's anything you need to know about your air travel, your plans on the 16th. So ask the universe for that information. And again, it's you cutting out the middleman and getting literally straight to the source. And the universe will respond, and you will know, because the universe loves us and doesn't want us to be scared. This is not a scary thing. We're butterflies going in, or we're caterpillars going into, our chrysalis, and we're going to come out butterflies on the other end. There's not fear in there, so we don't have to worry. So my advice definitely is, that's coming in very strong, is to just ask the universe for what it is you need to know. And I want everybody, to do that. If this is a scary kind of a concept for you, which, hello, why would it not be? These things we've been hearing, hey, your world's going to change, but it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. And stop screaming, human. Yeah, it's a little scary. So ask the universe to give you a sign that you are safe. Do that. And it will. And ask the universe what you need to prepare, because it will tell you that too. So I'm just going to touch base on the animals in our lives during the 3 days of darkness, and then I will boogie so that I don't take up too much more of your time, because we're getting to be about 45 minutes here. What came through also in the information that I've received about the 3 days of darkness is that our animals will fly through this with flying colors, because they are naturally connected into their spiritual essence. And as an animal communicator, I know this for fact. They are connected to the earth, and they will have no problem, coasting. They're gonna come out of this themselves, and it'll be fine, these 3 days of darkness. So they don't need us to do anything for them. They will be fine, just like us. Actually, they'll be better than fine, because we're the humans who are going to be freaking out. They are actually going to be here to help us. So definitely give your animals in your life extra love, because they're going to be doing a lot of heavy lifting to be helping you out. But they will be fine. Everything will be fine. All right, I am going to wrap it up unless anybody else has anything else they want to add, whatever. Okay, cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for showing up, whether you're here or you're catching it on the replay. And if you have any questions, comments, whatever, throw them in the comments. Check out my stuff, my links, all that, you know, down below. Renee says, thanks, Dawn. I appreciate your intuition. Oh, I appreciate you too, my sister. Thank you. Yay. All right, guys, take care. Lots of love. And if you have if you want to contact me, ask any questions, and you don't want to do it here in the YouTube forum, I have a way that you can, you know, connect me, whatever, down in the comments. I'm here to serve. I'm here to support. Literally, that's my mission here on the planet, to support you and try to help you stay calm. All right, guys. Dawn Phoenix, signing off.